Morning guys, it's Anything Goes Saturday. My friend was so happy with the other gun, the way that the bluing came out, that he gave me this one to blue. And I don't think you can really see, well yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can see just how rusty this is. It's not as bad as the other one was. This is an old single shot Springfield. I actually like these. Single shots are nice for kids, in my opinion, young people that are learning to shoot. It also has a broken butt plate, so we'll see if I can dig one of them up somewhere. So I thought I was making room, and I made room for another one, so we'll be working on that in the next couple days or so. So I need to get this snow off of this truck because I want to put gas in it and I want to start working on it. But the snow is like, because of the rain we had and the warm temperatures, it's like frozen on the top. Underneath is soft. I hate using the shovel to do this, but I can't push it off with a broom. So we had the 16 inches of snow, then it rained, and then it's down to 7 degrees now this morning, so just one thing after the other here. I gotta try and clean the back of that truck off a little bit. Well, the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want the snow in the garage when I pull the truck into the garage. I don't need everything all soaking wet, because then I can't work under the truck right. Hey guys. One of the things that I don't like about this truck is the size of the fuel tanks. This tank I don't think holds more than 20 gallons. It's not a very big tank. The back one here is a little worse. I think it only holds about 15 gallons. The other thing is, you see how the filler tubes come from the tank, and really if you look at them they're pretty much flat, so it's very hard to get gas into this thing. You can see the rig I got there, you know, with this bungee cord trying to hold the funnel so I can get the gas into it. But the main thing is, when you're using this truck, you can fill this truck in the morning and you won't make it home if you're using it all day without filling it again. It does use a tremendous amount of gas, but it also, you know, does a good job in what it is. So the 7.4 or 7.5 engine, I believe it has 460 or 465. I'm not sure about that with the Ford. But anyway, this is how I put fuel in when the body's up. When the body's down, dumping fuel in, I can hook the funnel to the bed. But the way it is right now is the only thing I can do to, you know, hold the funnel and hold the can with 2 hands to dump the gas in. So a little bit of a nuisance. When you're at the gas pumps, you got to be very careful with this thing. You got to hold the gas pump actually inverted, the handle, so that the gas runs downward rather than sloshing back at you. And this one here is about the same thing, although this one I had changed a little bit. I put a metal rod on there, and you can see I put hose clamps on that to get it up a little bit higher, but it can only go so high before it hits the bed of the truck when the bed's down. Hey guys, I don't usually make a whole lot of these talky kind of videos. I know I've made a couple in the past, and today's Saturday. We usually call this Anything Goes Saturday, and we did a lot of stuff today. I know I did a lot of chores, and I never really got to turn the camera on because of just, you know, not enough time to do it. Not something that may be very interesting and all, but nonetheless, I figured I'd make another video, and it's about something that we were listening to today, my wife and I. It seems sort of sad. The number one thing, I guess, and there's a couple of things that we heard and didn't care for, but I'll talk about one of them. And the thing that I heard was that, according to the governor, I guess, up there in New York, they can now have abortions right up until the last minute before the baby's born. And, you know, I don't know how you feel about that. I'm not here to judge other people or how they think. However, you know, there's something that I was reading that I thought was kind of funny, and I think it should be addressed. There's a society or some kind of group in the Midwest, I believe it is, and they say something to the effect of that a life is not a life unless it's breathing, okay? Especially when it comes to babies. I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. You ever see a rose bush breathe? It's still alive. I think that life is not something that we should necessarily be giving choices to people over. And Sally and I are both saddened that someone can kill a 9-month-old baby or abort it and not consider it as murder in our eyes. But again, I don't know what everyone thinks, but I know what I think. And to make the argument, and what I was reading is they were making an argument that they were trying to get religion out of the aspect of abortion. And they said the word abortion is not used in the Bible anywhere. Well, there's a whole lot of words not used in the Bible, and I don't mean this as any kind of derogatory thing, but I don't think the word dildo is in the Bible either, but yet we still know what that is. So my point here is that, you know, you can't make up words and then make up the meanings to the words to suit your needs. I think you have to call things what they are and go from there. But anyway, this group that's, I think it's called Religion Out of, I don't know, Life or something, or Life Free of Religion, some kind of thing like that. It's not even worth me knowing about it, but the point is that's what it's called. And I was reading what they were saying there, and the one thing they said was there's nothing in the Bible that says the word abortion. There is, and I'm not going to go into Bible things here, but what I will say is they said that that same group used the idea that if it doesn't breathe yet, it's not alive, like, you know, the breath of life or whatever. The whole point here is that, like I said, flowers don't breathe. They osmose, but they don't breathe. And the point is they're alive. If you, at any time during the year, you know, during the summer months, you go dig up some leaves and you'll find living things there. There's little things that are living. There's, you know, besides bugs, which is the obvious, I mean, you'll see little plants, acorns that have taken root. I mean, if an acorn is laying on the ground all winter long, and for all intents and purposes, this acorn looks like it's dead, so it doesn't matter. But if you watch an acorn, you'll find out that after it warms up, after you get some water on it, that the acorn takes two things out of it. One becomes a tree, one becomes a root. It's amazing to see it. It really is. It's truly amazing. The fact that that might have evolved to me is something, it's laughable. But anyway, the fact that this little acorn, which does not breathe at all, is it not alive if it knows that when the sun hits you and you feel water, you start growing? Is this thing not alive at that point? I mean, or does it just somehow miraculously come to life? I think that it's still alive even as an acorn. So an acorn is what comes off the trees the same way, you know, we have seed, you know what I mean, you adults, that also does things. So I don't get this whole thing. I mean, I don't understand the argument where it's not life unless it's breathing. I don't understand that. And I'm using, I cut trees down, I make lumber. So I'm just using a tiny little thing as a reference point. If an acorn falls from a tree, and it could be either deer food, or it grows into a tree, or turkey food, and this thing knows that when spring comes the following year to start growing, I find that that acorn is alive. That's my deduction, that it's alive. This is a deduction from someone who is not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor. And I don't claim to be a scientist. But I do have a brain and I can think. And when I see that, I have to say that even an acorn, though it does not breathe, is alive. And therefore, I deduce that even a baby, though it may not be breathing air, it is pumping blood through itself with the umbilical cord. It does have waste, from what I understand. And what part of that is not life? I'm confused by this. I'm just glad that I'm not starting my life over as a young man and trying to fight through what our youth are having to fight through. This is so utterly ridiculous, it's pathetic. And, you know, the 50% in this country that go for this crap and the 50% that don't go for this crap, I can't believe that it's reached that point. So, I don't even know where to go with this thing. I mean, I'm just disgusted with it, and my wife's disgusted with it. And we don't care about it because we haven't done that. But what we do care about is our grandkids and the future of the, you know, of Americans. One of the things that killed me when I was watching the news throughout the past couple of years, you know, they left all these immigrants, or whatever they are, you know, people come into Germany, people come into England and stuff. You know, England started abortion back in 1967, I believe it was. I was reading this recently, that's why I know this. But the point is first they introduce abortion, and then 50 years later they claim we don't have enough people to do the work around here, so we got to have more people come in. So they don't get rid of abortion. What they do is they let, you know, anybody come in to do what they want, change their whole way of living, and I guess there's nothing that they can do about it. And at this point, I'm not even going to try to surmise whether this is right or wrong, but it certainly is strange, if nothing else. You know, I listen to, all your life you're taught, you know, to respect this person, respect that person. Okay, there's some bad people in every bunch, so, you know, you pick out the bad and you don't respect the bad, you just stay away from them. So now we have politicians who not only are cursing like drunken sailors, but also these freaking politicians now are wanting to kill certain groups, destroy certain groups, badmouth certain groups. I remember when there was a time when if a politician badmouthed any group, he may as well have slit his own throat, because he's gone. He's never going to be able to come back into politics. Today, we seem to be thriving on this. I don't know what your opinion is of this, but I have to tell you, it makes me sick. That's all. Have a good one, guys.